Looks like the Biden administration has another lawsuit coming their way as they continue to call everybody that doesn't support their narrative or actually supports Donald Trump a white supremacist, a racist, and whatever other names they have, that when they don't have any other argument, they just name call. We all know that. Now, the first lawsuit they got going against them, it was brought on by Lynn Wood, who is the attorney of the Kenosha kid, Kyle Rittenhouse. We all know that story. So there was an ad that came out right after the debates and right around the time of the debates that was about right-wing violence and right-wing extremists and white supremacists. And in that video ad, it showed a picture of Kyle Rittenhouse walking down the street of Kenosha with his AR on the night of all that madness happened in Kenosha. Kyle's attorney, Lynn Wood, he was the same attorney that represented Nick Sandmann in another case where, somebody was smeared by these left-wing lunatics. I don't know what else to call them these days. I'm sorry. But yeah, so Nick Sandmann's attorney, Lynn Wood, jumped on the Kyle Rittenhouse case of self-defense. And when he saw that ad put out there by Biden, he said he was going to sue the Biden administration. And he put out a tweet that I thought was pretty hysterical. It said, "Put in your hearing aid, Joe, you will hear the footsteps coming." So that was great. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse has absolutely no connection to any white supremacist groups, any right-wing militias, anything like that. He's a 17-year-old kid that was a lifeguard in Kenosha that was actually there helping clean graffiti off the school. He had a medical kit. He was helping anybody that got hurt in their peaceful protests. So he was there trying to do some good. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the outcome of that is. But the media and the left has been smearing this kid's name and saying, yeah, all you got to do is look into it a little bit and you'll know this kid has nothing to do with any of that stuff. He's a back the blue. He's a supporter of law enforcement. And all of a sudden, if you support law enforcement these days, you are a racist. Now, the second lawsuit's coming out. I was watching something yesterday and I saw an interview with the Proud Boys. They've been getting a lot of media attention lately. So it was the Proud Boys founder, Gavin McInnes, who I think is absolutely hysterical. And so the Proud Boys, they were mentioned in the debate when the moderator, Chris Wallace, brought up extreme right-wing groups when he asked the president if he would disavow any of these right-wing extremist groups and any of the white supremacist groups. And as Trump said, all I see is all the stuff coming on the left. 95% of it's coming from the left. And he said, but sure, what would you like to call them? What do you want me to, who would you like me to, disavow? What do you want me to call them? Joe Biden yells out the Proud Boys. And since then, the media has continued just a barrage of hate and lies and nonsense about the Proud Boys. And so Gavin McInnes, when he was asked about this, he's, Gavin, what do you think? What's your response to what's going on in the media from, the leftist media, obviously, with the calling the Proud Boys all these things? McInnes said, yeah, I can respond. I'm suing them. He said he's suing Joe Biden. I'm suing all the rest of the reporters that call. So let me quote McInnes. Let me quote Gavin McInnes. So he said, yeah, I can respond. I'm suing them. I'm suing Joe Biden. I'm suing all the rest of the reporters that call this multiracial patriotic group white supremacists and Nazis. As far as I'm concerned, that's the new N-word. You call me a Nazi, that's as bad as any racial epithet. These people killed 6 million Jews, and to call us that is a deep-seated insult. We're not tolerating it anymore. So good for Gavin McInnes. Good for Gavin McInnes for just saying we're done. We're done listening to the nonsense. It's not true. Now, one of the leaders of the Proud Boys is Enrique Tarrio, who happens to be an Afro-Cuban. So that kind of throws out the whole white supremacist narrative right there. But the media doesn't want to dig a little deeper into it and see, what's going on with this group. And McInnes said himself that the Proud Boys are actually very socially liberal. And basically what they are is they're a men's club. They describe themselves as Western chauvinists. It's a men's group. They're, you know, 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 it's a men's group. They're, this whole toxic masculinity thing that came out with the women's movement and all these feminists, it's just, it kind of demasculates men. It's you can't really be proud to be a man and be manly and do manly things anymore. And basically, Gavin McInnes said that's nonsense. We're a men's group. We like to do men's things. And unlike BLM, the Proud Boys are pro-family. They're pro any family. McInnes said himself, we're pro-family, pro-black family, pro-white family. And if you really look into BLM and look at what they're about, BLM wants to destroy the Western nuclear family. They're not about the family structure that everybody here's used. They don't want that anymore. So now, if you look into them now, if you look into the BLM, look at their website, they, for whatever reason, scrubbed out of their website that they want to disrupt the nuclear family. Now, the Proud Boys, they're a patriotic men's group. They like to drink beer, and the one thing, the biggest problem about them is that they love their country. They're patriots who love their country. They support the president. They back the Constitution of the United States, and that's where the problem comes in right there. We live in a day and age where if you support the president of your country, of our country, if you support law enforcement, if you support the flag, if you don't support BLM and the things in Antifa and the things that they're doing, then all of a sudden somehow it makes you a racist and a bigot. And so if you're not condoning the riots, if you're not condoning the destruction, if you're not for all the garbage that's going on, then all of a sudden you get lumped into this hate group of white supremacists. It's crazy. And really, where do these media outlets where are they getting all this white supremacist thing? Like KKK, do you walk around the streets bumping into KKK members and run into these neo-Nazis, skinheads? No. But everywhere I go, I seem to see people BLM shirts, and it's such nonsense. And I kind of get at a loss for words when I talk about it, because it's just so mind-blowing that's actually what's going on. That there's people that, like, why won't the left, why won't the media, why won't Joe Biden disavow BLM and Antifa? The Proud Boys, they generally, when they show up somewhere, they're not causing the problems, and they'll say themselves, they don't go to start trouble, but if someone starts it, they're going to make sure they finish it, and they absolutely will. They don't go anywhere looking for trouble. They're not the ones that are running around in the streets burning down businesses. They're not the ones running around the streets and assaulting innocent people and beating up elderly people and going into these restaurants and flipping tables over. But for whatever reason, the media is so laser focused on the Proud Boys and how Trump, has a call to action telling them to stand back and stand by. It's just a narrative to get regular people to stop looking at what's really going on with BLM and Antifa in the streets. Now, if you're watching this, I hope you really know what's going on. I hope you pay attention to other things in the mainstream media. But I just wanted to make a quick video saying that, because I hadn't heard that Gavin McInnes was actually filing a lawsuit against CNN and against the Biden administration. So that's two pretty quickly. Two in the past week. So these guys can keep throwing these names out there. I've been called a white supremacist in the past couple weeks. I've been called, clearly these people don't understand how horrible it is to just throw this stuff out there, and that's exactly what they're doing. And like Gavin McInnes said, we're tired of it. We're done with it. He said the only way to stop it is to start suing these people. Maybe when they realize they gotta put some money out there when they're defaming these people and calling these people all these horrible names, it's going to cost them. Maybe it'll at least shut them up. I don't think they're ever really going to see the truth, because they're so blinded by whatever rage and hate and whatever else they got going on that they're never really going to see the truth, I don't think. But at least if they realize they're going to be putting a lot of money out there, maybe they'll stop calling people these horrible names. So anyway, two lawsuits coming out against the media and against the Biden administration, and I think it's wonderful, and I think it's great. Gavin McInnes, I hope I hope you keep us updated on what's going on with this lawsuit. I'll be following it, and I'll be bringing it to you guys too as soon as I hear anything. Do me a favor, this is my new channel. I'm just starting out here on YouTube. If you could hit the subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. And like I said, I'll be trying to keep you updated as much as possible on everything that's going on. All right, take care.